Welcome to the Christian and Daniel Show.
It's about to get real, well, you know the deal. You won't have to guess how either of them feel. Bringing up the things you don't think to know. Never knowing where the conversation will go. Just a little more than anything goes. It's the Christian and Daniel Show.
Hey everyone, I'm Christian.
And I'm Daniel.
And this is the Christian and Daniel Show.
We want to welcome everybody who's watching us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. If you do us a favor and share this on your page so that other folks can watch along with you. If you're watching us on YouTube, why don't you scroll on down, hit that subscribe button, and smash that bell. It'll let you know every time there's a new show on the air. And remember, we got several shows on the air. We've got Horoscopes on Monday, Christian and Daniel on Wednesdays, the Cardiva or Zodiacs on Friday, and put together live streaming on Saturdays. Plus, every other Monday, we'll be having our new show, which is Insightful, a movie review show, which next Monday we'll start off episode 2 with Steel Magnolias. So we'll be discussing Steel Magnolias. Hey, Charlie. We'll be discussing Steel Magnolias and more so the characters and the topics that are not talked about in the movies. So if you're a fan of Steel Magnolias and you want to join us, watch the movie if you haven't seen it, and then join us next Monday for a conversation. So actually, the Steel Magnolias movie was Christian's idea, so we're and go check us. We did our pilot episode, which was good. It was good. I give it a 7 out of 10.
I give it the same thing like the pilot show for this show. Honestly, folks, if you go back and watch that first episode compared to what we do today, it's night and day. I mean, but it was the first there's always a first. Like even on TV shows, when you go back to that first episode, even the first season, you look at it and you're like, oh, wow, that made it? Because like compared to, when they go up, they get more money, they get more budget, so things get nicer, more refined, and plus the actors get into their characters more. There's more character development, so it's interesting. I just love being able to look back at that first episode about my colonoscopy.
Well, considering that first episode, hey Nancy, considering that first episode wasn't even an idea for a show,
it wasn't a plan.
The whole idea, and we've talked about this before, the whole idea of that first pilot episode of the Christian and Daniel Show was to just kill your nerves for the colonoscopy the next day. That was the whole idea.
It was really all about me.
Here we are years later. Welcome, everybody. So it is January. I was going to say February already. No, it is January 18, 2023. In today's national days, I found these really cool. And I'm glad that Nancy just chimed in because I was just thinking about her. Today is actually National Winnie the Pooh Day. I know. So if you're a fan of Winnie the Pooh, oh no, that's Tigger. But it reminded me, I don't know if you have, Christian you don't have any of your childhood things anymore.
They burnt up in the fire.
I have your little
house burnt down.
I have your little rubber elephant here in my apartment.
One thing that did survive the fire was my little teddy bear. You remember my little teddy bear that I have in the closet? Yeah,
you have that, but I have your little.
Oh, the giraffe.
It's an elephant. It's over there.
It's an elephant. I thought it was a giraffe.
I could probably reach in a minute. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh's cute, but it reminded me as I was writing that I actually have a Kermit the Frog.
Oh yeah,
that I got in 1975, Christmas 1975. So I was turning 5 that year, and it just happens that Nancy picked that out for me. So all these years, I still have the Kermit the Frog. It lost an eye along the
years. It's not even years, son. It's all these decades.
Shut up! How dare you? But yeah,
we're at that stage in our lives where things are decades now.
It's not in a couple of years, it'll be 50 years old.
Yeah, and he looks good. Like that held up really well. That was a good purchase.
He's missing an eye, and I wish I could find one of those companies that like cleans stuffed animals for you and restuffs them and fixes them.
Yeah.
I found one on TikTok, but the lady no on Instagram, but the lady never responded. What do you guys think of Christopher Robin live action?
I never saw it.
I haven't seen it. I've seen parts of it. But I
Was
think
that
I
with
saw-
Ewan McGregor? If I'm correct,
That's-
that's playing the adult Christopher.
Is it Charlie? I don't remember.
But
But-
I haven't seen it. I was a little put off by live action because they're trying to do everything live action and it doesn't always translate well.
Hi.
Hi.
It's like you haven't seen it, right? We both want to see it. The new
We should watch it.
what's the name of the movie? The new one about the doll, the girl doll,
Oh, Megan.
Megan.
I so want to see that. I so
yeah.
want to see that.
So
That is
this-
like, yes.
I've heard some people post about it, and they said that the movie is a little like hard to follow at parts, but that the character like you forget about it because she's so evil, and so maybe we'll watch it this weekend.
That's the big deal. She's not, is she really evil? Or did the woman who made her give her a stupid command to follow without any parameters? You can't rely on a computer to make up its own parameters. Because what happens is there's no moral base. There's no, that's wrong, this is right. All they know is you gave me this command, I'm going to fulfill the command no matter what. Because my iMac, if I tell it to do something, it'll do it till it burns itself out.
Yeah.
Like so that's the concept in Megan was Megan bad or was her creator a moron who doesn't know how to give commands to an AI system, an AI?
So maybe we'll watch it this weekend while I'm up there, and we'll make it a movie night.
But I think that's this question that scares people to death. Like this movie, they're scared that would happen, but it's like, but that's the point. Human beings, we need to think before we give an order to something that has no value for life.
Yeah.
It's not alive. It's never been alive. So I just think it's fascinating. I want to see the movie just to see what the take is on it.
So we'll watch it this weekend, and then next Wednesday we'll bring it up next Wednesday. We'll talk. So if you have not seen Megan, and you can watch it this weekend, so we can talk about it next Wednesday here, because it's not going to fall into the insightful group. But hola, comadre, ¿cómo estás? Are you still away in Mexico?
Hello, Ellie.
Are you still in Mexico? Have you both ever seen the movie The Nun?
Oh yeah, I did. Wasn't impressed. Wasn't scared.
Didn't I see it with you?
Yeah, I think we saw it together.
We didn't see it together. That we were kind of like, I think I fell asleep on
It
it.
was Daniel fell asleep, but it was so for me. It was so minor. Like it was so not scary. I've seen scarier things in my real life than The Nun.
Welcome home, Ellie.
I think it's my background because I'm an empathic medium. It's hard to scare me these days because I've experienced things.
I'm gonna tell y'all, it completely sucks watching scary movies with him because he wants to break them down and analyze them, and I'm like, it's just the movie.
It's not real.
I'm like,
It's not how they look. That's not how it works.
and I'm like, just watch it. Like,
That's why I don't watch many horror films anymore. Not because I don't like them, but because they don't scare me.
and I really like. I don't like gore horror movies. I like Annabelle. Annabelle was a good movie. I did like Annabelle. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Annabelle was
And
good.
that's based on real experiences that that couple had, which makes it legit. Like that legitimizes it because they are the most legit paranormal investigators ever to exist.
And then like last night we were we chatting?
Mhm. Yeah.
I forget what was going on, but anyway, in my kitchen, which is right over there, there was a red water bottle.
Mhm.
I have a bunch of water bottles, but this one was sitting on top of the counter, and I heard something fall when you and I were talking.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And when I went to go look, it was the water bottle that was pushed off the counter by the
Yeah.
ice machine. It just fell off, and I was like, but like weird things happen here so that
Exactly. And you want to know what scares me more is I walked into my kitchen last night after midnight. I was getting ready to go to bed, and the first burner gas was turned on.
oh wow.
And it had been on for a little bit because it smelled. I had to open up the window in the kitchen and open up the windows in the house because I couldn't smell it in the main house. But that scares me more than that's legit.
And it's happened before. We've seen. I mean, I've been.
Yes, it's happened before, and I'm just like, whoever's doing this, you need to stop. It's
the original Exorcist.
yeah, the original scared the bejesus out of me.
I saw the original. Let's see, what year did it come out? Let me look that up.
And I've heard they've done a makeover of the first movie, like they upgraded it to 4K and HD. Like they made it so you see a lot more than you would in the original film because it's like more. Well, it's just more definition.
The original Exorcist was out in 1973, and I watched it as a kid, not as a kid, but I watched it, and I remember just being like, "Oh my god!" Yeah. But those were good movies: Exorcist, Carrie, The Omen,
even the original Alien, which was really a horror film. It had the original Alien.
I don't like that's.
Okay, well, I saw it.
I mean, I saw it. I just remember
it came out in the 70s.
I just remember the part where he comes out. I was like,
oh yeah. And the thing is, all those movies were legit. They had legit suspense. I don't feel like movies have suspense anymore. I think, like Charlie said, it's so obvious when something's coming that you're not scared by it. It's like you're walking me through the scary parts when you should just have it happen. You know, I think he's right. You can see it a mile away, so it's not scary anymore.
Yeah. I remember watching
the original. The younger generations, that's their version of scary.
I remember I must have been like 8 or 9 when Carrie was on TV, and I was watching it, and I was just like, instead of scaring me so much. I mean, I was a little scared, but I was like, I want to do what she does.
Like, you want to be telekinetic.
The movie's not pretty tame, but people are making spoof of it. Yeah.
You know, it is, but I still find it more suspenseful and scary than anything they make now. Like I watched something. I watched a movie about like this dark book or dark Facebook. Something about this ghost taking over Facebook and killing the people who killed it. I'm like, this is stupid. And then I watched another one. Like I try to give these movies a chance. Like I'll watch them and I'm like, the Smile. It's called Smile, and it was in theaters recently.
Like, yeah.
And it's not scary. It's stupid.
It's on Netflix now.
But I will admit, there's a part where you see the possession actually take place that has been kind of building the whole movie. That the whole movie was building up to, and that was because of amazing CGI. The possession was pretty gross looking. Like it was pretty incredible. But otherwise, it was stupid. It was so dumb. It was so predictable. So lick me.
Yeah, they've made so much spoofs. I think that's part of it too. They've made so much spoofs out of some horror movies. Like Matt TV has made spoofs of Exorcist, and that I don't know if watching the spoofs takes away from the fear of it.
Oh yeah.
Like now that you've seen the funny, like and okay, so one thing I don't like to see before I see the movie, because I'm just like jump ahead, is the making of the movies, because then
or even trailers. They give everything away now.
Like Megan, I feel like I've seen the whole movie in Megan.
I think we've seen all the important parts of it. I'm hoping not, but they do that now. If you watch the previews, you see it.
Yeah, Linda Blair was amazing. It's amazing.
And she's still with us. She's still kicking. Yep. She has a dog rescue thing or something now.
Yeah, she does.
She's a pretty cool chick.
She did one of those ghost hunt.
Oh yeah, she did.
She was the host of the reality show. It was a competition show.
Yeah.
They would go to some castle and be stuck there for. So actually, good segue, Charlie. Speaking of child actors and actresses, today is actually I know her. Today is Allison Argam's birthday, and
just if you don't know who she is.
Who is she? That's her right there, right there, right there. Nellie Olson from Little House on the Prairie. I know, right? There she is, right there.
Okay.
It's her birthday today, so happy birthday! And I actually have her as a friend on Facebook. I got to meet her last year at the Radiant Health Center's gala. She was our honoree, so we got to give her an award. But the Client Advisory Committee gave her a little gift bag with a bracelet, some crystals and stones, and a copy of my book,
Grumpy Bunny.
Grumpy Bunny in the Card Game, which is on sale, $20. Send me a message and you can purchase it.
And it can be signed even.
English and Spanish and signed. But that day, I was able to take pictures of her. And this picture, okay, so the gala was a 70s costume. So I decided to dress as a 70s banda player, a Mexican banda player. And actually some people kind of like were like, are you supposed to be in a musical group? And I was like, yes. So that's me and Allison together. So yeah, so it was cool. So I got to meet her, and she's so cool. And then she read my book on her show. She has a weekly, I don't know if she does it weekly or daily, but she does a show weekly, where she reads Laura Ingalls Wilder's books. And she finished the book, and she did tell me when I met her, I'm going to read your book when I'm done. And I was like, okay, cool. Oh, Hollywood, whatever. But she did read it. It's on her page. So anyway, so happy birthday, Allison. I hope to get to interview her and her husband soon and have them on my show. So happy birthday. The power of Christ compels you.
That is where I got that line from. I made fun of that like a lot of my childhood. I'd be all, like whenever my friends were really acting up or acting out, or when we did something like drugs or alcohol or something, we'd be, oh, the power of Christ compels you. And we just would laugh because obviously we weren't taking it seriously.
But the weird thing now is to think that like all of these movies that I watched as a kid that had that paranormal feeling into it, that now where my life is,
yeah,
that I connect with spirit and I do readings. Like it's really like I'm sure it didn't have anything to do with it, but did it? You no sé. Okay, so all of you who are coffee drinkers,
I should have made a cup of coffee for this.
Today is National Gourmet Coffee Day, so make sure you have some gourmet coffee. Like true story,
Starbucks.
True story. When Christian and I met,
Is it gourmet?
Christian and I met. We would go to Starbucks, and Christian would order his fufu drinks.
Well, back then it would be a grande mocha or Java chip frappuccino, double blended.
And we would go to Starbucks. And by the way, if you have a favorite Starbucks or favorite coffee, please put it in the comments. Let us know what's your favorite coffee drinking. I'm gonna say, because Nancy's on here, her cafecito is delicious. My sister makes an amazing cup of coffee. She does.
There's no one on the planet who can make a cafecito like Nancy Ramones.
Like
our sister makes. There's nothing. I could sit all night and drink them with her.
Whenever she's around, I somehow immediately forget how to make coffee.
Yeah, it's like, oh, can you make a cafecito, por favor, please?
I'm like, what do you do? How do you put this together? I don't know.
I know, and we even have. I think I actually have all the ingredients for a cafecito here, but I ain't gonna make that. That's Nancy. If she visits, that's what I am.
And I'm gonna say her secret is instant coffee. She doesn't do.
Yeah. That's what I have in the cabinet. Instant coffee. I think I have all the ingredients because I observed how she made it, but I've tried to make it. It's like, honestly, a bologna sandwich, the simplest thing in the world. White bread with mayonnaise and a slice of bologna. My mom would make it, and I remember I thought that was the most delicious thing I've ever had back when I was a little kid. I make them now, and I'm like, bleh. Like it doesn't taste anything like the way my mom. I don't know if that's because food's gotten so much horrible, so much crappier since I was a kid. But I just think it's hilarious that I can't make anything that tastes as good as mom. I'll make a tuna casserole like she used to make. It doesn't even remotely taste like hers.
Now,
Even if I follow the recipe, I have a recipe book, and I can't make things taste like hers.
but I'm going to say
Something
that
about each cook.
I'm going to say that the same thing happens when I'm at your place. I somehow don't know how to work the coffee maker.
Because it's always me.
Yo no sé cómo hacer café.
He'll be all, well, I don't have a cup of coffee yet.
And okay, so Chris, and I joke about this, and actually there's an interview that I'm going to be recording next month, and part of the story when they asked me like, what keeps you, why are you with your boyfriend, with your partner? And I give a couple of things, and at the very end I go, and he knows how to make my coffee. I'm like, you don't leave that. Like,
that takes a lot of years of practice. That takes years to learn.
That probably doesn't come in the newer models. Like, why would I want a new boyfriend if then I'm gonna be like, the coffee's wrong. Make it again.
It doesn't taste right.
Make it again.
Put this much coffee in. You need more coffee.
But here in my house, I can make me a good cup of coffee. Like I make coffee the way that I want.
Can he make you a good cup of coffee?
I make it for me. But then I go to your place or I'm at Nancy's place and no sé, café, no sé. But okay, so back to the story. When Christian and I met, we would go to get coffee and Christian would get his fufu drink. I would always say, oh my God, you gotta get your fufu drink. Like, get a manly drink. Get a man drink.
So that's iced coffee or frozen coffee is not coffee.
I always said cold coffee is the devil juice. But I would always get my Americano, no milk, just sugar. And nope.
I do love coffee. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Isn't it crazy how these commercials stick with us? Like good jingles stick with you your whole life.
But I dare to know.
Well, he also said he likes a strawberry cream frappuccino.
Whatever, fufu drinks.
Well, Daniel, what frappuccino do you get?
Yes, a man drink. Yes, Richard. Man drink. Americano.
Hey, Richard.
Yo quiero americano.
I drink it black. No sweetener, no cream, black. Crazy enough, that's how my mom drank it.
So
my dad didn't. But my mom.
Christian would get this fufu drink, and I would always tease him like, you and your little girly drinks. Oh. But then when I was going through cancer, I wasn't allowed caffeine, and I couldn't have coffee, and so I could have frappuccinos, but then I couldn't drink milk. I couldn't drink milk either, and so that means no. So then I would go
talk about a California sounding drink. Here it is. So California.
So then I would go up and be like, "Can I have a vanilla bean frappuccino, double blended with soy milk, no whipped cream, please?"
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That he went from that's all fufu drink to can I have like the gayest sounding drink on the menu?
Yeah, they take away the coffee and it sucked, but I at least would go in there and just get the aroma and just like.
Yeah, that was really tough. I know that was hard on you too. That was just a rough time.
That was a rough time, but now. As I got older, now I can drink coffee at night too. Well, I don't do it as much as I used to, but
yeah, you do it pretty consistently when you're here, at least.
Well, because you make it. And
I know when it's made for you, it's different. Just like when we're with Nancy and she makes cafecito, it's easy.
Okay, but tell me
if it's not true.
Tell me if it's not true. Like, because she's on here. She's like, pues, "No quieren un café? You want a coffee?" Oh, well,
sure. If it's not too much. When we're both all inside going, yes, yes, we're so glad she.
I don't want. I no quiero. Si tú quieres. No, don't worry about us. But inside, I'm like, coffee.
That is so funny. And we both go through it. I don't know why we do that every time when we just can't be honest and just say, yes, we would like a coffee.
Like we know where we're
After all
going.
these years, it's like silly for us to even put on the act.
We know where the conversation is going, but we still pretend like we're like, I know. No.
The only thing that's been missing from our cafecitos is what are they called?
Gorditas.
The
gorditas.
gorditas. That's the only
Yeah,
thing
that's
that made the cafecito experience perfection.
Like to make the moment a true sacrifice, it's like, well, if you're gonna have a cup, I don't want you to drink one alone.
If it's too much to turn on the stove, don't do it.
But if you're gonna make one for you, pues I'll have one with you.
And it's like, solo, only if you're making one for you.
Solo. Oh, the lies.
The S that we put out.
The lies.
Mentiras?
Well, hopefully Nancy will get to feeling better. She still has trouble with her shoulder, but when she does, we hope you feel better.
We will put you to work.
Yes, we want you to feel better, pero las gorditas, ¿dónde están?
We're so glad you're feeling better. Can we have some coffee?
On a 1 to 10, how better do you feel right now?
Ahora.
So how much pain pills will you need after if you make them now? I feel you. But
evil. That's evil.
Do you feel me? Like, do you feel my needs? Like, and I actually bought some at the store the other day, but I was so depressed because they tasted nothing. And then they had coconut in them. And I was like, who puts coconut in gorditas? Like, what the hell? Yeah, no. It's just like tamales. Like, we didn't get tamales this Christmas.
No, I asked you about I guess that guy's mother's not making them anymore.
Yeah, no. Well, the neighbor that usually makes them was going through some hard times, so he didn't make them.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't very well go over to the door.
It's the same thing as the cafecito. Did you make tamales for yourself this year?
Oh, good. You're starting physical therapy.
Oh, good. That it'll hurt, but it's gonna make so much better.
We're instigating people to make coffees now.
I know, everyone's like, I need a cup of coffee now. I want a cup of coffee, but I can't step away.
Which, by the way, I've tried to make them. You know what?
I went to a tamale making class.
We've not done it, but I'm thinking that later in the year, we're gonna practice. We're gonna do a practice run, and then we'll do some for Christmas. We're gonna.
I'd love to try it. I mean, I went to a tamale making class in Hollywood with my friend Maura, and we learned how to actually. Huh?
I didn't know that.
Oh, this is years and years ago. But I remember, we made the matzah. We did it all, and the only thing was mine. I still didn't put enough good stuff in, so it was mostly masa, which is what I hate about most like store-bought tamales. It's like way too much masa and too little filling. So all I want to do is make sure I adjust the filling to be more filling than masa. Well, yeah, we should. I would love that.
Let's do a trial run mid-year.
Yeah.
You know, I have celebrations all throughout the year, so we can celebrate one of my days and make them. But yes, because I was watching this guy make them on TikTok today. I was like I know they're not that easy, but I know that they're not that complicated. And Nancy probably remembers, like at the ranch, we used to everybody would pitch in and make tamales. And okay, well, as long as you brought Sarah into the conversation, let me just say this: we were there a couple of Sundays ago, and one of the most delicious pozoles I've had in a long time.
Me too.
And
I don't like pozole.
You don't like pozole.
And I liked hers. Like I was like, ooh, I had seconds.
Good. I was very disappointed that we were not offered any to take home, but I'm not going to bring that up.
I'm glad you didn't bring that up, hon.
I'm not going to say anything.
I wouldn't mention it. It would be horrible to mention it.
Only because we're on the show right now and there's a lot of people watching. But otherwise, I just wouldn't say anything.
Oh yeah,
pozole. It was really good. It was a green pozole with chicken and but the broth was so good.
Oh,
so yeah. Yeah,
You
yeah.
could've just not
I don't
covered
want you to. I don't want you to say anything to Sarah. Please. I don't want us to put it out there. Do not tell her that we walked away going "Y mi pozole," but we didn't. We didn't.
We really didn't. I didn't, at least.
Well, I got
think
home
Daniel
and I
might
was
have.
like,
We
"But
drove
you
separately, so that's why we thought separately.
yes, yeah. Oh. The audacity.
Daniel was in his car in the driveway, and I parked far away, miles away, so he could have that parking spot.
Well, you know those midnight hungers that you get once in a while. You're like, "¿Qué como? What can I eat? Pozole? No, because you didn't bring any home. That's why."
Oh, I'd love to try the green chili one. Oh my gosh. All I can say is, Ellie, good job. She can cook, just like you. Well,
Well,
not just like you, but close.
I think Christian likes it now. At least
I like Sarah's pozole.
Sarah's pozole.
And just like I didn't like menudo till I tried Daniel's relatives menudo that they brought at that New Year's like 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh yeah. We were
Pre-COVID.
at Robert's house in McAllen. Yeah, Mission.
No, it was at Marcy's house.
Oh, that's right, Marcy's house.
But that I like that menudo. I've never had menudo like that. So I have to be very specific, because if I get it in a restaurant, I'll be like, oh no, thank you.
But yes, we. I mean, I would drive to buy her food if she said.
I would, absolutely.
I think they overcook. Sarah,
They
Mhm.
don't. They don't.
I see a cook-off coming on. I see a cook-off.
And we'd be happy to be judges.
I mean, if you want us to judge the cook-off that we're having now, oh look at us already making the plans. Okay, so let's put the plans down. What are we making for the cook-off? We're making more pozole for the baptism. Oh, yum.
Yay! I think that's great. And you know what's funny is Crystal's dishes. What I love is if she only makes that one dish for the picture she takes, she does very good plating. Like everything looks really good.
I'm just saying, like,
Aw.
if Sarah sold food, I would drive for the food. If we're doing this cook-off thing, let's start planning it. What are the dishes? What are we doing? I'm already planning it because we can record it and show it on live stream.
I totally want Ellie's sope with her
The
gorditas
consomé?
that she makes.
With the broth that she gave us.
Yeah, that was so good. And that was a time when I was really sick, so I couldn't appreciate it like I can now.
See, comadre, we need to do a do-over on all those summer foods because Christian was a little bit sick and I was sick, and then when I was better, Christian was sick. All that summer, we need to do a redo.
I didn't get to enjoy anything really. Like I had it, but I only could eat a little bit and a teeny bit. It was bad. I was so like I look back and I'm like, oh, I missed out on this great food.
Which one, Christian? Well,
the one that you made, like it'd be in a cup, and then we'd have the gordita on the side, and we could just dip it in, and yeah, it was so good. Like I was sick as a dog, and I remember it was really good.
And I was
now I can appreciate it. Like now I can actually eat it and enjoy it, not worrying about.
Was it tostadas, baby? It wasn't tostadas.
Oh no, it wasn't the tostadas, but I love your tostadas too. But again, I was sick for almost all of that. So
hold them up now. We're not knocking any of the food. I mean, you bring it on. In fact, why don't you do a whole buffet?
Yeah,
and we'll come and taste everything, and we'll tell you which one is the one that we remember.
Yes, the empanadas. Oh, yes, the empanadas. Yes, those were really good. I don't think I remember. I was so sick that I only could eat a teeny bit of everything, but I do remember it was really good.
But all three of those make really good. And and we need to bring Nancy here when she's better, so that she can make the gorditas. Not to see her, we just want to hear for the gorditas. Overnight, una noche. Okay, thank you.
She'd be fine. She'll go, I'll be there for that. But then I'm going to the beach the rest of the time. So she'd be fine with that.
Colosos.
Inches, mariposas.
Oh my God.
Now, is it inches or is it supposed to be pinches?
But yeah, but she's
pinches mariposas.
That immediately brings up the just that that day.
That memory, I know. You can't help it. Anytime you hear the word mariposa, you're going to think about that day at the farmer's market.
Yeah, anybody who Nancy was there. So
Nancy, she was right next to me.
You were trying not to cuss. No, Christian will take care of that for you. We got you. We got you.
Well, the good thing is I'm catching on to stuff like that. And when she said inches, I think she meant pinches.
Yeah. What happened when you teach in Spanish? Now he knows all these things.
I know, crazy. Learn all the cuss words first.
What else do I have on here? Oh, the only other thing that I have is for those of you who we're going to start watching it. I'm going to start watching Yellowstone. I want to watch the 2 movies first.
I'm up to I'm partway through season 2
of Yellowstone.
Of Yellowstone because I'm trying to watch it. Then I want to watch 1923 with Harrison Ford and
1899 or something.
Well, if you haven't seen 1899, you need to watch that before you watch Yellowstone.
All right. Well, today is Kevin Costner's birthday, so for those of you who like Yellowstone,
how is it?
Today's his birthday, so there you go.
Wow, he's been around a long time now.
I actually, so to end the coffee conversation because we're not. I actually bought a bag of maple pecan coffee at Ross because they had it on sale and I saw it. And I love maple pecans. I mean, I love pecan pie.
Oh, but come on, you're gonna drink a flavored coffee.
I'm gonna drink it. I'm gonna drink. I like Kevin Costner's butt.
It looks good in the cowboy jeans still.
He does look. I mean, for his age, he does look good.
Yeah, he does. He's aged pretty well. He aged pretty well for a white guy.
He's 68 years old. So
wow.
Yeah,
well, I think Helen Mirren's even older than him, and she's still doing it.
No, wait a minute. No, he's not. Helen Mirren's not with Kevin Costner. Helen Mirren's with.
Well, yeah, she's with Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
Right, but I'm just saying they're all in that. Like Harrison Ford's in his 70s, mid 70s, I think, because he was already in his 30s or something in the 70s when he made Star Wars.
Helen Mirren is 77.
Huh?
Helen Mirren is 77.
I know, and you'd never guess because she has been a graceful ager.
And what's his name? With her in the show?
Harrison Ford?
Harrison Ford.
He's in his 70s too.
He's 80 years old.
Ay. He's in his 80s.
Yeah. He's
still doing good. I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. What a wonderful opportunity to have such long careers for all of them.
So all in all, we want to wish Alison Argram and Kevin Costner a happy birthday. And in honor of that, I'm going to have me a maple walnut pecan. Maybe?
He's going to have a maple pecan flavored coffee.
Yes, later.
I can't believe you're doing a flavored coffee. That is like, you have been such a standout on flavored coffee. Yeah.
I can smell it when people are brewing it, and it just turns. My cajeta cruzada down. Eli, ¿por qué?
Why? Why do you torture us? Why? Oh,
I know. We're like. Is she gonna? Oh, actually, I'm gonna be in your neighborhood tomorrow. So,
whose neighborhood? Ellie's.
Yes, for those of you that.
So Daniel will come by and pick up one of those croissants.
Yeah, I'm guessing what I'm reading in your comment right there is what I'm reading in there is that. Oh, no, that one. You can spell it all right, Daniel. Cállate. What I'm reading in that comment right now, what I hear you say is you have one for me tomorrow. That's what I'm hearing.
And a nice cup of coffee. Exactly.
Yeah. So for those of you that have been following us, we are going to be padrinos. We're going to be godparents to little Junior. I don't have a picture ready to show you, but if you follow us on Facebook, you'll see the picture that I posted of us with him. But tomorrow is the visit to the church. I still need to find out what we're actually doing.
I'm all, ooh, fresh croissants. You sinner. That's just evil.
¿Por qué?
I'd be all, I just pulled fresh baked chocolate chip cookies out of the oven, Daniel. The house smells delightful.
I'm gonna have huevos for dinner. But y'all enjoy your croissants. But yeah, tomorrow we go talk to the priest. I don't really know if like it's like because it's every other
It's
month.
going to be a little bit of an interview.
But I don't know if they're doing like one-on-ones. Are they doing a whole group of people at the same time? Like, are we competing? You're making brownies too for mi comadre. Ahora sí, because
Me?
is that
So
I'm
me.
thinking that this is the benefit of having a comadre. Like they call yours like, come over for croissants. I mean, that's what a comadre would do. Could say, come over for croissants.
That's what a comadre.
That's what a comadre would do, not just advertise them. Pero bueno, to each his own. Like to each his own. It's a group thing. Okay, good.
Yeah,
So
it's a group. It's a class.
are we competing? Is there gonna be a race, or like we're gonna fight each other with crucifix, or like what are we doing?
Yes, you're going to fight each other with a crucifix because that's exactly what godparents have to do.
Class? All right, cool. Because I was getting nervous that it was like gonna be like a one-on-one like test, and I'm like, I'm not ready for a priest test. Like I don't know.
You're ready. You're a Catholic. You're ready. Please.
I'm a Catholic, always a Catholic. That's for sure. Well, I'm not even. We're going to the class, and then we're gonna. I don't know if we're doing dinner after that, but I'll find out later.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
because you need to know what God expects of you in this, covenant that you're making with the Sayes family.
I
And
did
with
reach
me.
out. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no, I'm just telling you because that was my experience with Katia. Was it was an informational? It's a class that teaches you what's really expected, what you should do, what your expectations are of you.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah, because a lot of people say I'm a godparent, but it doesn't mean anything. They don't do anything. And it's like that's like almost a sin. Like you're supposed to, there's a reason you're called a godparent.
So spoil him, teach him how to be sassy,
Uh,
and how to dress nice. Got it. Down.
yeah, I got it. And don't
Yeah.
do that in class. Remember, don't be all, I got this.
Antoja. What's that?
Antojas. I don't know. You still that's
Spiritual
beyond my-
guide and confidant. Yes.
Exactly, Christine. Thank
Thank
you.
you for joining us, Christine. But yes. I actually reached out. I have a friend who's a priest in Florida, and I reached out to him a couple of days ago to be like, "Hey, can you give me any guidance? Like, if I was coming to you, what
Give
would
me the
you?"
inside scoop.
I'm a sinner, and I like it
It's a
that way.
song.
I'm a bit more formal than it's a bit more formal than clothes. Well, of course he's gonna get nice clothes, Ellie. It's not basic. But yeah, no, I did message him and I said, hey, can you kind of walk me, like if I was coming to you to be a godfather, like what would you do? And he kind of walked me through the process a little bit, like what he would do. But they're very the church that he's at,
It's individual.
and they're very not conventional.
Yeah, conventional or very traditional.
So he was like, with us, it's very like, was it Christian said promise to his family, but our last name is.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I look at it.
Oh.
I'm looking at the like a family tree situation rather than the individual. Yes, it's the Pantoja family.
Well, I still have them on my phone as Laura Sides. So
Yeah, I do too. Unfortunately, that's both of our bad.
Or as my Google likes to say when it says there's a message from Ellie.
Eli sees.
Eli sees.
It's like
Eli
some crazy guy in a basement somewhere.
It's from Eli sees. Like what? Anyway, all right. It's about that time. You ready?
Oh yes. Oh, my pick of the week. Like I say yes, and I'm like, my pick of the week is on Netflix, and it is a show called Alpha Males, and it's in Spanish. It's from Spain, and it's about these men who are still trying to hold on to being that very traditional masculine males rather than being kind of in the spirit of the 21st century and more equality and less talking down to women and stuff like that. It's quite, I find it very humorous to watch. One guy loses his executive job to a woman because he came out with a show that was so obscenely offensive to women that they said we need a more feminine point of view for our programming. And it just kind of grows from there. Like all the guys have problems with women because they're trying to be these toxic males still. So it's a very cute show, very funny, and it is from Spain, so they do show more stuff than say an American show would show. And it's on Netflix, so it's streaming. So just be aware it's not really made for little kids or anything, but it's a good show, very entertaining, and even I'm offended by the toxic masculinity they're showing. So it's really well acted.
But is it good? I've been watching a couple of episodes. It's really good.
Yes.
My pick of the week is called Two Hearts, and it's a movie. You can find it on Netflix. Let's go with Netflix. Yes. The story is about a young man named where are we? Chris. His name is Chris, and he's young and he's in college, and he meets this girl named Sam, and they really, really like each other. And then there's another side to the story. It's like two movies at the same time. And the other characters is this guy named Adam Canto. That's the name of the actor. His name's Jorge in the movie. And he falls in love with this girl named Leslie. And he's this really rich Cuban guy, because they make a real point of that in the movie. And Leslie, who's a flight attendant, and they meet on a plane. Well, there's these parallel stories, and I don't want to give too much about it, but there is a transplant story in it. And you just follow the relationship of these two couples and how health issues makes them go through. The reason it got to me the most was that there's some health issues, and there's a partner, and the struggles that the patient goes through about being a burden and not being there, and then the partner who becomes a caregiver and what they sacrifice in the relationship. So there's a lot of crying. It's funny in some parts, and it's really romantic. It's beyond a rom-com, and but just the message is so cool. And the reason I like it is because I do some work with one of the transplants organizations, and just learning some of their stories, it really brought a lot of things home. Of course, it's a movie, so there has to be an ending to it. So check it out. But it's called Two Hearts. It goes really quick. It sounds really heavy. It's not. It just goes really quick. But the reason it got to me most of, number one, because the guy, if you saw the movie The Kissing Booth, it's the same guy from The Kissing Booth. It's kind of cute to watch. But as they started getting more into the story, it just reminded me of Christian. And I realized the things that he sacrificed when I was sick. And it just, I was bawling halfway through the movie. So go check it out. Go check it out. It's really cool.
Oh, that's so appropriate. I love that.
Let's just say, I love that you are so into it.
Absolutely.
Oh, into the thing? Yeah, well, okay, let me read this before we go. Good to see y'all. It's been a while. I have 3 godchildren. Lord, why do they trust me so? Well, that's what I said. For anybody who's known us for a while, I've wanted kids forever, and I grew up around kids. All my nephews and nieces are way younger. I was 4 when my first nephew was born. And so I've grown up around kids, and I always, not so much when I was in drugs and alcohol, but after that, once I got clean and sober. And I think that was part of it too. Getting clean and sober was finding a partner that like we could have children together. But, God works the way he works, and health issues and life got in the way. And now that we're in our 50s, I still had the urge to want to make an impact on somebody and teach them everything I've learned. And
On a side note, by the time I met Daniel, my tubes were tied, so I couldn't have any more children.
And I'm on the pill constantly. And
Oh, that's fine. But yeah,
when
Daniel would love to have that influence. You know,
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I got to be a godparent, and I have an amazing goddaughter, and now I'm like thrilled to be able to add a godson to that, and it means the world to me.
so when Jesse and Laura approached us, well, honestly, when they approached us, the first thought was like, do they want to borrow money? And then I thought, and then and I thought, well, I don't have that much money, but then when they asked us to do this, I was like, we talked about it, Christian and I, like, is this something that, like, we're ready for it? Can we do this? Like, is this something that body, mind, and spirit, are we like able to do this? And I just feel honored, and he's such a great little kid, and like, to watch, to make me cry.
Yeah, we cried when they asked us.
To watch Christian and to watch that energy, it just makes me so happy. And like, anyway, so that's that.
Yeah, and you know, I just laughed too because my goddaughter just turned 30. So talk about feeling old. I have a 30-year-old goddaughter. So that always reminds me, wow, a lot of time.
Yeah. So I think that, you know, God works the way He works, and the universe does what it does. And I think this time in my life is the perfect time to be part of somebody's some little energy's life. Shut the front door. You guys are not in your 50s. I'm sorry. It was the tears. I meant
I misspoke. I misspoke.
Now that we're in our mid-30s, I think we're perfect timing for us.
Yeah, like it's so great to be so young and able to do this and know we'll be, you know, all is good. All is good.
And that's when I go, Echo, what year would I be born if I'm 35?
From fandom.com. Born December 16th, 1981. Age 30.
Echo, stop. There we go. Yes, in the 80s when I was born.
Yeah. I don't know what the 80s was like, but I heard.
You know, for all you older people,
it's so tough being a millennial, Daniel.
being a godparent does keep your mind full of your forever influence. Such a blessing, and y'all are so full of love and going to be great. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate that.
And that is totally true. It's all about love.
And so I just think that I believe that. I believe that everything just comes when it's supposed to. And the fact that they approached us. So anyway, I'll start crying if I keep talking. So I'm gonna
Daniel, you big old softy.
shut up. So I want to remind everybody.
That old joke. Ooh, ooh. Oh yeah, I remember. I can't say it on air, but yeah, it's funny.
Hey, I'm.
You are not. I think you're younger than us.
Oh yeah, no, I was a teenager in the 80s. The 80s were the best.
Oh my god, the 80s were awesome.
Yeah, totally awesome.
Some of the best BMWs that ever were built came out in that time. I had such great experiences in the 80s.
I do have to say that I think when you feel like, and this is for everybody out there. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I'm a spiritual life coach, but a lot of the clients that I've been working with, from where we're starting, where we end, when you are spiritually happy, your mind follows, and then your body follows. And does it remove all the wrinkles and take away all the pains? No, but you physically feel better, and that's where I am right now.
Heck, music from the 90s is considered classic. 80s is ancient. They're like dinosaurs. Isn't that when dinosaurs roamed the earth?
Yeah.
And I did not know that. Ellie and I are just about the same. We're very close. We're almost the same age.
Yeah.
I turned 53.
Yeah. I think that's why we got along so great when I first met her.
Yeah, I guess
We were in that same
we're
age
from
group.
the same generation, baby, Gen Xers.
We know the same
Always
dirty
one
jokes.
out there.
We know all the same dirty jokes. That's why it works out.
Absolutely.
We want to remind everybody that next Monday, which is Monday, January 23rd, check us out. Make sure you follow us. We have the second episode of Insightful, a movie review show, and we'll be reviewing the movie Still Magnolias from a whole new insight. So make sure you check us out. Same time, 6:00. Make sure you're following us on whatever channel you're watching, or go to our YouTube page. Follow us there. If you're not following us on YouTube, go there, check us out. We need more followers, and hit the notification bell. It'll let you know when there's a new show on the air. And check it out. Again, we're gonna. Well, Christian, you know how to explain it better, so tell them
About what?
about the Insightful, why we came up with
Oh,
it.
Insightful. It's just we like to try and focus where this of course happens the second I start talking. I said a little prayer for whoever's in that ambulance. I hope they get the care they need, and blessedly they're very close to the hospital. But like in Steel Magnolias, the example I'll give is Truvy, which was played by Dolly Parton. Her character, I watched the movie recently and I was like really listening. I wasn't really paying attention to the main plot because I know that like by heart. I could say the lines. And I started listening to what Truvy said throughout the movie. And I'm like, that character is so sad. Like she has this kind of like a horrific life. Her marriage is kind of crappy. Her son's a criminal. Her business, she only has this one little place in a little town, and that's her whole life, is sitting in there gabbing with the same gals over and over again. I'm like, oh, she's like, I just noticed her character for the first time and really realized how it's kind of a sad character. She has a lot of craziness going on, and that's just, but yet it's overshadowed by the overall story of the lead characters, with death and marriage and everything else. But even like when she's taking cake from the wedding and she's like, I'm gonna have sweet dreams tonight because I'm gonna put this cake under my pillow. Because when she doesn't have the cake under her pillow, she doesn't have sweet dreams. Like the way she says it, it's just, if you really look at it, you're like, oh my God, like this is a sad woman. She's not happy. And I never noticed that before. It took me all these decades to notice that. So I just think it's an interesting take. It's an interesting thing to look at some of these, I don't know what you call it. I mean, they're still main characters, but they're just not lead characters.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about all the things that are not brought up. Like nobody brings up that their husband is an alcoholic and doesn't have a job. So here's the thing, Insightful. So next week is Still Magnolias. So make sure you check us out. And plus we have all our regular shows. And I believe if I can get the person to send me his bio and his picture, I'm gonna have the gentleman that created Chicano Hollywood, which is a production team that does Latino, Hispanic geared programs and videos. And they're launching a new online magazine, which I'm hoping we're going to be part of so we can promote ourselves. But if everything works out, he'll be on the show next Saturday. Remember, 12 o'clock, noon, so you can join us.
Still McDaniels.
How dare you? I should have been a character in Still Magnolias.
Or it's Steele, Danielle Steele.
What else? What else before we go? Oh, yeah. Again, buy the book. If you have not bought the book, Grumpy Bunny and the Colors Game in English and Spanish, $20 with delivery. So we'll mail it out to you and we'll sign it in English and Espanol. I'm still working on having the right time to do a read along, but I just haven't had a chance. Remember, Children's Day is coming up. It's April 30th, 30 de abril, Día del Niño, 30th of April. Yeah, Michael, we've been waiting for you this whole time. We haven't done.
Yeah, we kept telling people he's coming. He'll be here.
We're so glad you didn't bring the air with you. We're suffocated. But anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Make sure you share with your friends. If you're watching on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, share this on your page so that other folks can watch it. If you're watching on YouTube, scroll down, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you're on our YouTube page, leave us a comment or just a thank you or like us or whatever, just so that we know that you're there. Love you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us as always. We're so happy to see you and chat with you.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.